Hello everybody, and welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons! It's not raining at the moment. It is cloudy back there. I see them. Hopefully I'm not recording for like 40 minutes and then it becomes rainy. Got our gift from Gullivar. Arr. Open! We got Pirate Wall. Alright, there's Sahara. Let's come buy a new floor and wallpaper from her. I wish she still had everything. I also wish she would just automatically change her floor and wallpaper. That was so convenient. And it was only 3,000 bells to do both back then. She's doubled her price and we get half the service. Like, come on now, Sahara. I mean, she does have tickets now, but I don't know if I'm terribly on board with those. Because you only get them from buying rugs, so... my wallet's content. But, yeah, I honestly don't know a huge amount what to ramble about today. For those who caught the stream yesterday for you guys, you'll know I spent like 4 hours doing nothing but yapping, and for me, that was today. I've already yapped a really long time, and now I don't know what to yap about, because I've already done all my yapping. That was very much a case of born to yap, forced to drive a truck. I think the bulk of that yapping, though, was me going on and on about basically the thought experiment of EVE Online's New Eden versus Star Trek's Alpha and Beta quadrants. Slash just anyone in the Star Trek universe, really. Because, like, just looking at it as objectively as I can, and I love both universes. New Eden wins. It's almost no contest. I mean, if you were to compare exactly 1-to-1, there's definitely some situations, if you stack the deck in the Star Trek universe's favor, where they'll win. Like, if you have, like, a Borg cube versus a Rifter, yeah, that Rifter might lose. That's pitting a capital ship against a Tech 1 frigate. Yeah, that Rifter might struggle a little bit here. It would struggle in New Eden, too. Smart greeting. Just thinking about how I wanted to see you. Slatus. It's my second time running into you today. First was in your dreams. Now it's your dreams, Simon. Get it right, my man. So many flowers. So many flowers, so little time. Also such a sore throat. After not yapping for that long, doing a stream where I had basically nothing to do but yap, because I was playing Euro Truck Sim. I said American Truck Sim. No, it was Euro Truck Sim. Like, you're just driving a truck. So, you know. And I do want to do that again more. Like, it's a lot of fun to play. So, you know. Okay, is Caroline home? No. Okay, it's just Diva that's home. Come see Diva, the Divster. What is up, Diva? Do you have something for me to yap about? You're exercising. Zoops. Sleep well. I want to chat. So, you ever take a look at the sky? All the time, really. Reese, yeah, I'm pretty into sky watching myself. Whenever I feel the old blood start to boil, I chill out and watch the sky for a while to simmer down. Helps put me in the right mood to go apologize for whatever got me so heated to begin with, Queen. That is fair. I just enjoy, like, looking at the stars. I like using the clouds to tell how long it's going to be before, like, a storm hits. You know, that sort of stuff. Oh. I love how there is a bury it again option for flowers, but you can't dig up a fossil and then plant a flower in its place. You're not allowed. Sky! Good evening to you. Don't you love an evening walk, Airmail? I do. Let's talk. I wonder what my parents are up to. I should probably give them a call. That is fair. All the more evidence that you are definitely not the Sky I know. And not like she's not the animal I know from before, but... It's a bit of a long story for any new viewers, but my ex at least used to go by Sky. I don't know if she still does. Couldn't really care. She could go by, I don't know, frickin' Velociraptor these days. I wouldn't care. She can do what she wants. She's out of my life, and quite honestly, I'm kind of glad about that. So... especially having all of the time I've had for clarity, and, like, looking back on things. Yeah, I'm very glad about it. Yep, there's my bug net. So I guess I'm going to the Nooklings really quick, because I don't want to bonk that rock in case it's not the money rock without a bug net. Got Caroline doing some fishing. Oh, that fish are biting. Aw. I'm sure they'll bite. There was one there, I'm pretty sure. Maybe you have to bite them. Maybe that's what's going on. The fish just want to be the ones getting bit for a change. Okay, bug net. Annoyingly, and this is more of I'm getting annoyed with myself, I've not done any of my daily things yet today. My brain is still in I'm busy, too busy mode. It's like, well, I might need to go do something. It's like, no, I don't. I'm good. My day is sorted. Yeah, I may as well bonk this rock while I'm here. And this is the money rock. So, yeah, it's a good thing I didn't bonk that other rock. Because this one's the money rock. Money rack. Yeah, I need to do a lot of editing tonight. So, I'll probably be doing up my World of Tanks on the console. Which is a good thing I still have it installed on here. Because it's pretty convenient for that. I'll also probably end up playing more Heroes Hour. That game is so freaking fun, man. Like... It's just Heroes of Might and Magic enough to really hold me. And the battles get just ludicrous enough to keep me entertained. Like... there is an ability you can get called Echo that basically, after a set time or random time, I don't know exactly which it is, after you cast a spell, it'll cast an echo of that spell, basically casting it again for no mana. Well, that means if you do, say, a summon that summons 40-some dudes onto the battlefield, You've asked for dudes and someone has provided. You know, you're in the fight and you need backup. Well, you just got your backup. A few seconds later, you now get 40 more dudes. You cast another spell to summon, let's say, 20-some dudes. And that can cause the echo that happened already to happen again and give you 40 more dudes, which can then trigger the 20-some dudes to summon again, which can then trigger... And it just keeps going. As long as you can keep casting spells, you'll get more and more and more and more and more triggers of echo. And it's freaking hilarious. Like, legitimately, I didn't think I would ever see this happen. I saw the Switch slow. Like, the Switch 2 slowed down in one of these battles. And it wasn't the console itself, like, lagging out. It was clearly the game slowing itself down. But I didn't think I would see that from anything on the Switch 2. But, I mean, it could have also been the Switch 2 just not being able to process that quickly. It does have an NVIDIA chip, after all. You might be able to tell, but I'm not a fan of NVIDIA. They might have been a decent company once upon a day, but not anymore. I suppose another thing I can kind of talk about is, I had recently seen a comment from somebody basically saying that the land system in Magic the Gathering is a great thing because it makes more games happen, basically. You know, them making the argument that the land system keeps things balanced and fair, and, you know, you get more matches where you actually get to play cards. It's like... Except, I think everybody who's ever played Magic the Gathering knows that that's not the case. Everyone who's played Magic the Gathering knows that some games, your opening hand is 2 lands, and then you never see another one when you desperately need it for all the 3 drops that are filling your hand that you assumed by turn 3 you would have seen another land to, you know, get to play. Or you'll have the opposite happen, and your hand will be empty, save maybe a land, or like 1 remaining thing you can cast, and then all you draw from then on out is land. Like, both can and do happen. Nothing. And both are frustrating. Like, I was watching a CGB video. It was on his Covert Go 2 channel. Big advantage to just throw an eye open 365 days a year. I'm gonna talk with her again, because I kind of skipped through that. See, what kind of clothes do you usually like? How would you describe your style? Ooh, but I don't know. You're all about, like, green and white checkered pattern, maybe on an apron. Babes, you're doing the thing where you think everyone's you again. Yeah, but it's cute when she does it. In a video CGB did, Covert Go Blue, he's a pretty big Magic creator. He's a good Magic the Gathering player. He had a match, or a duel, where his opponent milled, like, 15 cards off the top of his deck, almost entirely hitting lands with the mill. So it took like 10 or so lands out of his deck. His next draw? A land. Is it true that you've been looking for a sweatshirt? No. That's what I get for listening to gossip. I should have asked before I went out shopping for you. How about if I just give you a sweatshirt? I mean, alright. I mean, I can wear it, too. You can always give it away if you don't need it. Oh, here, I'll put it on. I didn't need it or want it, but... Bam. Sweatshirt. And, like, that continued for the rest of that duel. He did not draw a single non-land for the next... I think he played through, like, 5 more turns. Just constantly going, if I just draw this, I can win. And then you draw land. If I can just draw this, I'll win. And then he drew a land. If I can and then land. And then his opponent mills more, and there goes the things he needed to draw. And his next draw, land. As his opponent milled him out at the end, the remaining, I think it was like 5 cards in his deck were like 4 lands, and then the bottom card of his deck was another creature. And it's like, that can just happen. There you are, Colonel. Okay, commence Snake's special training. Haha, just kidding, Colonel. Let's chat. There's nothing like the smell of a hot compress. It's the best thing after working my delts, Colonel. That's fair. It honestly kind of looked like he immediately just lost all thoughts. Just head empty, no thoughts. Which seems pretty fitting, if I'm honest. Like, I give CJB props for not just Alt F4ing and closing the game after that. Because that's what I would have done. And, like, I had left a comment on that video, basically being like, you know, mentioning that I had just seen that comment, saying that the land system's great because, you know, it makes more games happen. And then saying that, like, yeah, games like that one really make you question that. Hello, Muffy. Esquire, glad you're here. Wanna chat? Okay, I forgot to vacuum. Sorry I'm not a busybody host type. Just don't go hunting for dust piles, okay? That's fine. Let's chat again. Oh, Nightshade. Someone's feeling chatty. Wait on. My grandpa had a bad leg, so when I was little, I'd give him rides on my wagon. I thought I was helping him. A neighbor saw us once and told us to stop. Grandpa just winked and thanked me for the ride. Aww. You know, as much as I thought I was helping him, it's really the other way around, Nightshade. It's usually how it is. But, someone basically commented when I gave my basically 2 suggestions as ways to just, you know, solve the problem of remove lands entirely, or make a land deck, which I know I've talked about before, that's like a separate thing from your main deck, that, you know, you get you either start with 6 main deck cards and 1 land deck card, or 3 land deck cards and 4 main deck cards, whichever is more balanced. And then see, you know, play from there and see how that might change things. Hi, Steven, honey. Let's talk. Honey, days like today are just made for window shopping. That is fair. Though I've got the money to proper shop, so. But someone basically replied going, well, Magic's been around for 30 plus years. It doesn't need changing. It's like, okay, but just because a game's been around forever doesn't mean it doesn't need changes. I mean, I was going to bring this up to them as an example, but when do you think the last time the rules of chess got updated? If you're not a chess player, like me, you probably have no idea. You're probably sitting there like, I don't know, probably like 1,000 years ago. From what I could find, 2017. And it was a change around the rules for drawing. 2014 had a major change around the rules for drawing. So, like, if a game like chess, that has been around for thousands of years, can still be seeing changes, I think Magic can see some changes. Oh, Superstar, Sparkles! Let's chat. Guess what? I was playing single-player hide-and-seek and I won. I'm so bored. Well, then, play with your dollies! Yeah, here's Scorpion. You got 2 dollies and a birdhouse. Maybe I need to give her a computer. Maybe that's what needs to happen. But she has a laptop, I think. On like her desk bed thing. Right? Or am I just Mandela affecting a computer there? Why is it with this game's music and making me yawn? I'm not tired. Ah. But after saying that, they were like, well, maybe Hearthstone's more up your alley. And I made mention that, you know, I am more of a Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon TCG player. I haven't played the Pokemon TCG for a while, but I enjoy their system. Honestly, the Pokemon TCG is a pretty good example of how to do a land system right. But I'll get to rambling about that in a minute. They basically replied to that with saying, oh, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just so healthy. And I got to point out that, yeah, it is right now. It's very healthy right now. There are 11 to 12 different decks that are all able to top 32. The World Tournament that just happened, the top 8 had 6 different decks. The top 4 was 4 different decks. That's a healthy metagame. Of which I do have to say, and this is something that I'm always just confused by. We have our Worlds ban list. We dig it out every year for World. It is a combining of the TCG and OCG ban lists, effectively taking every card that, you know, on both ban lists, and you're allowed to play with the minimum number of the card. So, using an easy example, Max C is at 2 in Japan, is banned in the TCG, so the rest of the world. So at Worlds, Max C is banned. Like, that's how it works. You go with the lowest state between the ban lists. It means some cards banned in the OCG that aren't banned over here, well, they get banned for Worlds. Why don't we just play with that list all the time? Like, I don't know, it seems to have a pretty diverse meta to it all the time. Every World Championship has a pretty diverse meta. But, you know. But yeah, I basically just replied to them saying, you know, hey, can Magic say the same thing? Does it have this diversity of decks? And they basically just replied with, no, you win. It's like, yeah. I can play Yu-Gi-Oh! We have Blue Eyes White Dragon. Pretty cool. He's really not, but we pretend he's pretty cool. And like, I'm not even with my suggesting of a mana deck suggesting that Magic actually change. I'm just suggesting that maybe people try it as a format. Magic already has like 20-some different alternate formats. What would it hurt to have one more that uses lands a bit differently? You know, I don't see how that would hurt in any way to try it. I'm not even saying it has to fully become a format, just try it. I've been tempted to try it on my own, just to see how different it makes the decks I've built. You know, if I had access to a printer and a good amount of ink, I would even just recreate my Magic Arena decks via proxies. I'd need sleeves too, but you know, you get some thin printer paper and print off your proxy. You shove it in the front of the sleeve with a regular card behind it, and it's functionally feels the same as a regular card. So you just basically can play with whatever you want as long as you get a bunch of bulk and people who are okay with you doing that. Like, and honestly, like, if I was playing against somebody and they were like, hey, can I use some proxies? I'd be like, yeah, sure, go right ahead. Like, I don't care. You want to proxy stuff, proxy stuff. Like, with some of the absurd prices of these cards, I just want to have fun. Like, I don't want to spend hundreds of dollars on a deck I might play, like, 3 to 5 times. Ever. You know. Especially in a more casual, you know, tabletop format. I'm not gonna want to be playing the same deck every time, day after day. So, you know, I'm okay with proxies. Especially because that would also allow for, like, crazy powered nights. And I would do the same with Yu-Gi-Oh! As long as you've got sleeves. As long as you've got sleeves and a basic card, and you're not using, like, thick printer paper. I would want thin printer paper. I imagine they would also want thin printer paper, because imagine how much thicker that would make your deck. It would be a nightmare. Like... Heck, if you've got, like, thin tracing paper, just draw the card yourself, and ta-da. You know, it doesn't need to be perfect, as long as all of the information is there. You know? Take, like, an Evolving Wilds and just draw what you want on it. Ta-da. You know. That sort of fun stuff. Okay, let's go put our new Florum wallpaper in. But yeah, it actually honestly kind of shocked me as well to see that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is actually in such a healthy place right now. Because looking at the Yu-Gi-Oh! Group I'm in... Okay, I didn't actually see what we've got. So, Floral Rush Mat. Place it vertically. So we got a traditional Japanese mat and Egyptian hieroglyph for our walls. This is the alternate history where Japan conquered Egypt. There we go. That is what I'm living in now. Neat. I should put those things away. Oh well. But, yeah, like... It's just so many people in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Group calling for a ban list and complaining that we haven't gotten one yet. Because Konami said that we would get a ban list sometime after Worlds. Yeah? That could be tomorrow. It could be a month from now. That doesn't mean right away. That means sometime after Worlds. I mean, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community has always struggled with this kind of thing, though. Konami used to say for our ban lists that, like, when we'd get a ban list, they would list a date and say, you know, there will not be another ban list until after this date. You know, there will be no more alterations until after June 12th, whatever year. You know, that sort of thing. And people would take that to mean, the moment it reaches midnight on June 12th, there's going to be a ban list. No. It means there's not going to be a ban list until at least that date. Could be a year after that. Thanks for picking this up. I was walking around yesterday, picking up... Actually, no. I know what I need to do for the voice here. Thanks for picking this up. I was walking around yesterday, picking up DIY stuff, and came up with a great recipe. I was gonna keep it a secret, but I'm bad with secrets. Real bad. If you make it scream, I made it! By Al, the smart guy. It's a deer decoration. I gotta make a deer decoration. I just felt like doing that voice. But... well, no, I need to finish my ramble about why I like the Pokemon TCG more. I'll stand here while I do it. So, basically, the Pokemon TCG has so many busted free draw spells It's a game where a supporter that says draw 3 cards is garbage, because there's another one that says discard your hand, draw 7. And let's be real, if the card is still in your hand when you activate that supporter, you didn't want it anyway. Like, you know, you want to draw 7, not 3. Come on now. That makes it so that you can run like 8 energies in your deck, and you'll see them. It does mean you're pretty much a one-shot, and if your Pokemon get knocked out, if you don't have ways of recovering those energies, which there are ways that are generic and anyone can play, you know, you're kind of screwed. But they have so much just generic draw power that you can basically play with minimal bricks. Because that's what a land is. It's a brick. It's what an energy card is. It's a brick. It's a thing you don't want to draw, which I suppose technically by Yu-Gi-Oh terms makes it a garnet. It's a card you don't want to draw for turn. You want to get it via other ways. You want to search for it. You want to get it with a draw card. You don't want to be drawing it for turn. Like, you don't want to reach for your deck and it's a water energy. Need this. I've got 4 in hand already. I needed a Professor Oak, you know. Or I needed my evolution. I needed my EX, you know, my item cards, my, you know, all the other things. Like, you want to play a minimal number of energies, a maximal number of draw cards. That way you basically get to your energies when you need them, but, you know, you're able to actually play other cards to make your deck more consistent. Magic doesn't have that outside of a few colors. And it's kind of funny how the best deck currently, which is VV, they have basically a tier 0 format, with the VV deck being the best. It plays those consistency cards. But technically no, they do have a tier 1 format because they have 2 decks that are viable. There is a second deck that's viable. It's mono red. Even at anyone who might have listened to my ramblings for a while, you'll know that I didn't think their bannings were actually going to stop mono red, and guess who was right? I don't like that I was right. I was hoping I'd be wrong, because I hate facing mono red. Because here's the thing with mono red. They only need one or two lands to absolutely annihilate you. While you probably need 3 lands to get your plays started. They've already halved your life total. Like, they're just that aggressive that you've just lost. You have no hope. You know. But like, those are the 2 decks. You're either playing VV, which is red-blue, and playing a lot of mono-red's cards, or you're playing mono-red, which is basically just cutting the VV out of the deck, and as well as the search cards. Like, that's it right now, which, you know, it's not great. I don't know how the Pokemon meta is going. I've actually been kind of tempted to, even though I'd have to start over to re-download the Pokemon Online stuff. I'm still just a bit bummed that I literally lost all of my cards in the online because I never got notified that they were swapping servers and I had to transfer my stuff. So that sucks, but, you know, might try it again. But yeah, I've been rambling for a very long time. We're going to end today staring off into the ocean, staring off at that island in the distance. And with that, I thank you all very much for watching. And hopefully I shall see you back here tomorrow, where I will probably not spend like half an hour rambling about card games. See you all then!